Welcome back to Granja Caimito in the Pedroche Valley of Andalusia, Spain. Let's start this video with something scary. And don't worry, this is not a poisonous one. This is one of the common ones that are around here. We have had these creatures here before. But of course this one tries to keep the dogs away. She somehow seems to be living in that compost pile. And by trying to get out, she got stuck in the chicken wire that we have around. We have the chicken wire around so that all the paper does not easily blow away. And that created a problem. I can also tell, it's not on the video, that I managed to get her unstuck. And she then immediately went into the pile again in a different place. And now I leave her be. This is a section of A17, and this year we do have dandelions here. It's the first time. We did not have them in this area before. And you might be able to spot a few more here in this wide angle shot. Interesting is also this here. There are a lot of dandelions in this area, which has a bottom of stones that was created in order to separate the grain from the husk when they were cultivating wheat here in this area. And the dandelions and also the thistles are somehow more prominent in this very stony area. So I would think nature is trying to convert this area back into deep soil instead of being a stone platform. We also have started to graze here. There were some challenges and we had to do a few unusual things to keep everybody fed. We also received some straw. I should show you a quick shot about this. I wasn't filming when the truck arrived. And in between all these bovines here, there are also a few new calf. So if I zoom in, you might be able to spot a few. There are two. And somewhere over there, no, it's not the case. But there are about 8 new calves in there. We still have to put on the ear marks. So here from this angle I can show you them a little bit better. So for example, there are 2 little ones. And over there is another. And there to the right, there is also one behind the little bigger one. So it's now getting hidden. We have managed to put up 4 sprinklers that our pump can drive. This is not because we expect a very good harvest. It's just to prepare this area for the pigs, because they will come in here in the next few days and they will then harvest what has grown so far. It's a little bit so-so. So here you can see an example. The daikon radish hasn't been a huge success, but they are around and the pigs will not mind. And after all, this is not the main crop that we wanted here. The main crop is going to be a forest. So after the pigs have been in here, or while the pigs are still in there, with their help, we will then seed sun hemp and friends and let this go while we have the irrigation in place. So these sprinklers here, they are a temporary thing and they will then move, and we will also put up sprinklers on the fence posts there in order to maintain this area while we have the sun hemp in here. And these sprinklers, they should then form a line in the center so that we have coverage. So we learned that our pump can drive up to 4. So we make this into sections of 4 and manage this with some shut-off valves like that one here. So this is then the way how we irrigate those 6,600 square meters. And in autumn, that is the thing that I mentioned in the community section of this channel, there will be a planting event, and maybe some of you guys can help us with that and also enjoy your own company and have a good time. So maybe we can pull this off. The pigs have arrived. They are back to where they started. And this time there is some food available here that wasn't there before. There isn't an enormous abundance of food here, but something has grown. And of course the lack of rain also impeded a little bit the growth. But as you can see there, we are simulating the rain. It's not perfect, but it is at least something. What we want is to allow the pigs to uproot and do their part, so that next week, today is Friday, we can seed in here, and then towards the end of the week these boys will leave, because we want to remove all the animals that require our attention so that we can focus on something different. And it's also a question of the money that we need to spend on keeping them around. So we will sell them and then not have to buy additional food all the time. So far they have not been that much interested in the turnips or the daikon radish or the giant cabbage. They have uprooted a little bit, but it seems to be for old acorns. It is pretty windy. There are sawmills going off, and the wind that creates is pretty strong. Unfortunately, it makes for bad audio. So it appears they are more interested in whatever is under those trees, but not really eating the things that we plant just yet. Acorns are more interesting. At least, so it seems to me. And as you can clearly see, a lot of this has already dried, which is very unfortunate. We were busy with something else and there was no rain, and that is the result. If we were regular farmers producing a crop, then of course we would not have this problem. And that is one of the reasons why I decided to remove the animals, because they are not really helping, and simply doing animal farming also does not work given the overall situation. So a reshifting of focus is what I try. Of course, if we had the sprinklers there from early on, because we want to have a good crop, then things would now look different. But it doesn't really matter. The daikon radish that was supposed to grow very, very, very well did not. Maybe. So this is what we have. And that is not really what you would expect. So the conditions were not sufficiently good for this to develop. I just tried the little one. The taste is pretty good. I would love to have these fully developed on my table, because it's the very same thing. So what people eat in Japan, for example, is the very same daikon radish that we have here. But even if these things have been small so far, they did do something to the soil, because the soil around the radish had to be moved. So there we have some soil improvement. So here we have the turnips. They are equally as small as the daikon radish was, but they are there. And there is some pig food. Let me show you the whole plant. Up to the seed head. There. So this is not a failure, this is just a step. And let me remind us all, the purpose of this area is to plant a Miyawaki forest. So this is now an intermediate crop to improve the soil a little bit and add some biomass. And the pigs are one of the tools to make this happen. And the next crop will then be sunhemp and friends. So sunhemp, corn, and the what's it called in English? The sunflower, girasol in Spanish. And that should then add more biomass, and either we bring in the cows there to harvest that, or we simply crimp it some way or cut it. We have to figure out how to do this. So, and then after the sunhemp and friends have been harvested or crimped down, the next step will then be, and that is the thing planned for November, to plant all the trees for the Miyawaki forest. We do intend to take advantage of the summer and put a number of palovnias in here before that. And we need to figure out a little bit where to plant them, so that we can take the wood harvest into consideration. So maybe they will be put somewhere as a winding path here in the center between the door, the gate over there, and that gate, so that when we come in and harvest the now tall trees in 7-10 years, this becomes a clearing. So basically the path becomes a clearing in the forest, and we can leave the Miyawaki parts to the right and to the left intact. because that Miyawaki forest left and right can then be used to keep chicken and other types of poultry, because it's their natural habitat. For the upcoming weekend, the cows will be in here, A8, and also up there, which is A9. So that gate there in the center, that is open, and all I need to do is to remove the string there at the top, and then I can have these two areas for Saturday and Sunday. I only need to run around and check the wires. There are plenty now, and the mothers like to keep their little calves close to themselves, and it's not like the yearlings that were the problem. The yearlings try to venture out and test the fence, and now they are not here anymore, so it becomes a lot easier. And this week we had no escapees here in this area, because the adult animals, they do know how to behave.